The conflict in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo is escalating, with children suffering unprecedented levels of sexual violence. UNICEF warns that armed groups, including Rwanda-backed M23 rebels, have subjected minors to rape and other brutal abuses. Executive Director Catherine Russell issued an urgent appeal for the violence to stop as M23 expands its control, clashing with Congolese forces and allied militias. The situation has worsened since M23 seized North Kivu's capital Goma on January the 27th, forcing tens of thousands of displaced people to leave camps under threat. Many have fled back to their villages or into Goma, where humanitarian aid is severely lacking. Meanwhile, the rebel coalition alliance, Fleuve Congo, of which M23 is a key member, has captured another major mining town near Bibwe. The Congolese government say more than 3,000 people have been killed in just 2 weeks. Joining us first to discuss the ongoing situation in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, we are joined by Gautam Mukherjee, who is a senior journalist. Gautam, thank you very much for your time. I want to first look at the UNICEF report that we've had over the shocking incidents in which children have been raped by military forces. Now, we know that the military forces involved aren't just rebels. There are also reports that the Congolese as well have been participating in this level of crime. What can really be done to stop it?
You need peacekeeping forces if the UN wants to get involved. Without that, you need an impartial body that is able to keep watch and keep the two sides from attacking each other and attacking the public at large. The rape of minors is a form of warfare to many eyes. They do it on purpose in order to demoralize the other side. The situation in Congo is ongoing for quite a while, and the world is not getting involved as such, and it's just getting from bad to worse.
Also joining us to discuss the ongoing situation is Dr. Tolit Atiya, an African affairs expert who's joining us from Uganda. Dr. Atiya, thank you very much for your time. We of course have these crimes against children, but there's also concern that children are being looped into armies and involved in fighting. What also can be done to counter this? While we make sure our line to Dr. Atiya is sorted, Gautam Mukherjee, I will pose the same question to you. The use of children in fighting is something that is being reported on, similarly to the crimes that we're seeing. How can that be stopped?
Well, it's down to the same thing. Until you have an impartial body, the UN peacekeeping force is well suited, but for some reason they're not involved. Who else can come in there and separate the two sides and maintain some kind of rules of war? Because when you are using children, both for fighting and they're subjected to rape, there is a free-for-all in which both the Congolese troops as well as the rebels are participating.
Gautam Mukherjee, sticking with you, we know as well that aid getting into areas within the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo has been difficult. Does this also require unity from other African nations and potentially outside of Africa as well?
Again, I'd say that if you had an international body like the International Red Cross or some NGOs that are specialized in distributing aid and food, then it would be much easier. But to expect the other countries in the region to get involved, they would have if they saw any benefit in it. And so far, the fact that they've stayed away or are supporting either the Congolese government or the rebels in their fight is a problem.
And looking at the number of deaths that we've seen in just 2 weeks, 3,000 people are believed to have died. M23 and the rebels are continuing their offensive, looking away from potentially stopping it, but the devastation that's being caused, this really is seismic for the region, but also other parts of Eastern Africa.
Well, a lot of these people are unarmed. And if you're going to attack unarmed people with arms, you're going to have a lot of casualties. If the casualties are between the two warring sides, that's one thing. But if you're going to hit civilians with armaments and proceed to perform atrocities and rapes, then there is absolutely no defense against it.
Absolutely, Gautam Mukherjee, thank you very much for joining us.